Hey guys, this is Dan with Dynamic Principles, and I've got a couple belt setups that I'm going to go over with you today. All right, so starting with my first of these two belt setups, this is my personal belt setup, and this is my main squeeze. This is the one that I use most of the time. It's one of the gunfighter belts that we make, and I'm going to kind of work my way counterclockwise around from the buckle on it. So first on this guy is a couple of our new cantable mag pouches, and what's kind of neat about these is that the way that these mount is that you can mount them in varying orientations or ride heights. So when you mount them on the belt, if you want a little bit more cant or a little bit less cant with your magazine, you can do that, doesn't matter. You can see I prefer a kind of middle amount of cant for my two pistol mags, and then the rifle mag, you can actually see one of the neat things is if you mount the pouch very low on the mount, you can actually buy yourself a little bit more space in between your rifle mag and your second line kit. So whether that's a plate carrier or a chest rig or whatever else you might be wearing up above this, if you can sink that magazine down a little bit lower, creates a little bit more space, it's a little bit easier to get to and draw. Working around back from that, for the back of my belt, I like to keep it pretty simple. First thing that I'll say is that it's totally okay if you have open spots of MOLLE on your belt. You don't have to use every single one. It's all right, I promise. Getting to the back center, this is the P.I.M.P pouch from Flatline Fiber Co. I think this is the best compact medical pouch that you can have for a belt line right now. Super awesome, contains everything that you would need in a small individual medical kit, and also very easily accessible from both sides. You just pop it out and it comes right clean out of there. Super low profile dump pouch. This one's from Blue Force Gear. I've been running it a long time. It spends most of its time stowed, but it is really nice to have if you need to do something like police a bunch of extra mags or collect extra things that you weren't expecting to have to carry. You can just pop it open, throw them in there, cinch it up. And then for my utility items, also keep it super simple. So we have two of our P.I.M.P pouches that are retaining devices here. So the first one is just a micro bang pouch, and this one just has my task flashlight in it. So it's just it's a light that has different illumination modes, so that I don't have to pull it out and turn it on and get 1500 lumens if I'm just trying to like read a small item or a map in low light. I can turn it on, get 10 lumens of light, that's everything I need, throw it back in the pouch and it's all set. And then a P.I.M.P multi-tool pouch, which just has my multi-tool in it. The holster and gun on this setup is actually being supported by a BAER Solutions bang hanger, which if you don't have one of these, you should. They are awesome. Super low profile, very rigid, and gives you much better mounting solutions than if you're trying to just use a UBL or some of the other options. The thing that I don't like about a lot of Safariland holsters, which I think they're kind of the gold standard as far as retention goes, but out of the box, they kind of have a little bit too much of that forward cant to it. And what this system allows you to do is you can actually rotate back your clamp a little bit so you can take some of that forward cant out of the gun and make it so it's a much more vertical draw and presentation. And then while we've got this off, I like to use a TRX Arms leg strap, and you can actually see the Ice Fence holster pad, which is nice and keeps it nice and comfortable against your leg, and then the Ice Fence inner belt as well. And the last thing here, I like to fill up the dead space in between my holster and then where my belt buckle is with just a super simple tourniquet holder. This is just a very easily individually accessible tourniquet. You can get to it with both hands, even if you have super low dexterity. And then just on the hook, some Pig full dexterity gloves. They are awesome. They don't have the longest service life as far as if you're using them and abusing them, but the dexterity is unmatched. So it's the closest thing that you can get to not wearing gloves and protecting your hands while still wearing gloves. I basically just keep 2 pairs of these all the time. I keep 1 fresh pair and then the pair that I'm using, and then when I blow out the one that I'm using, I just swap in the new ones and order a second pair and just keep rotating through. Okay. Second belt. This belt is actually the Wojak belt from BAER Solutions, and what's kind of neat about this one is, unlike the gunfighter belt over here, where you have to mount the pouches using the adapt mounts from BAER Solutions, this belt, because it is a Safariland ELS style, it has holes that run through the Tegris on the belt. And so the cannibal mag pouches, you don't actually need mounting hardware beyond just screws to attach the magazines directly to the belt. So instead of having to, like you would on this setup, and attaching the pouch to MOLLE, instead of having to attach the pouch to one of those GWS mounts and then put the mount on the belt, in this case you can just get the direct attach hardware and you bolt the actual pouch itself straight onto the belt. There's no middlemen, there's no additional hardware, so you get an extremely low profile mounting solution. And between the hole pattern and then also the hole patterns that we have on the pouches, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of orientations that you can set these up in, from straight horizontal, straight vertical, higher, lower angles, whatever. In this case, you can see this one is actually set up with a horizontal cross draw mag that pulls across the center, as well as a second rifle magazine, and then 2 pistol magazines that are mounted at different angles and orientations to make them a little bit more efficient to draw. And then working around this belt, it's actually, shocker, very similar to my other belt. It just has a couple extra goodies on it. So this guy, same situation on the back, a little bit of a gap between where the material stops here and where it begins. So we still have that Flatline Fiber Co. P.I.M.P pouch that's in the middle for the medical. And then we have a few more of our P.I.M.P pouches around the outside for some utility and tools. This one is a multi-tool pouch. This one is a micro bang pouch with a micro bang in it. Our Mark III pouch with a Mark III capstone in it. And then our small cuff pouch, which fits Smith & Wesson type cuffs, basically anything other than the ASP cuffs, which are massive in comparison. We make a large size for that particular one. So all those things nice and tucked tight together and clean on the back so that when they're sitting around the body, they're comfortable. And then working back around to the front, no surprise, same mounting solution. It's a Guardian Warrior Solutions bang hanger. This is kind of a neat little setup for this gun with the Surefire holster for a suppressed handgun. This is the best solution that I've found if you're trying to mount a suppressed handgun onto a belt. It has very secure lockup. The gun cannot come out unless you actually actuate it and take it out. It's been super, super good and super useful. And this one is actually, because this gun is a little bit heavier and has a little bit more going on, so not only are we using the Ice Fence inner belt, we're also using the Ice Fence holster pad. And in both of them, we're using the T-Rex leg straps. You can fight me in the comments. I still like a thigh strap. I think it makes it nice. And then if you have a less than ideal or perfectly clean draw when you're trying to pull the gun out, it's nice that the holster will not flop around or move at all when it's retained by that strap on the thigh. So, all right, that about wraps it up. You can let me know in the comments whether you thought my setups were cool or if they suck. And you can also find more information on Dynamic Principles on our Instagram, which is dynamic_principles, or on our YouTube channel, which is just Dynamic Principles. Until then, thanks for watching. Stay frosty.